Hello, and welcome to the Quiet and Strong podcast, especially for introverts. I am your host, David Hall, and the creator of quietandstrong.com. It's a weekly podcast dedicated to understanding the strengths and needs of introverts. Introversion is not something to fix, but to be embraced. Normally, we will air each episode on a Monday. Be sure to subscribe on your favorite platform. So, this past year has been one of reflection for sure. A time to step back from life. Definitely a time of uncertainty, ups and downs, good and bad. And now there finally seems to be some light at the end of the tunnel. With being forced back into reflection, are there new challenges and experiences that you want to have? Are there things you're looking forward to? A year of reflection forced upon you. It can be very motivating to try new things and have some new adventures. It can also have the opposite effect of leaving you feeling stagnant and demotivated. I'm looking ahead for success for me and my family, and also helping others, especially the quiet and strong ones, and having some time for some new adventures. Have you heard people say things like, everything you have ever wanted is just outside your comfort zone? So in this past year of reflection, I largely have been in my comfort zone. And sometimes it's a good place to be. But as far as new adventures and new people, it's been very limited this past year. Any time outside has been limited to talking through a mask. And, when I'm in my house, talking with people outside of my house is conversations by phone or Zoom or some other online means. I am definitely ready for some change. But I've always hated that expression. You just need to get out of your comfort zone. So in the past, if you've had challenges such as shyness or fear of public speaking, just for example, you've probably spent your life getting out of your comfort zone. The problem is that if you don't change your thinking about how scary something is, then it will continue to produce fear no matter how many times you get out of your comfort zone. And you'll likely stay uncomfortable. So instead, I prefer the phrase, change your comfort zone. Not just get out of it, but change it. So that thing is not scary the next time, or maybe less scary. What is your fear? Maybe you're terrified of job interviews. What specifically is it that scares you? Maybe you'll say the wrong thing, or you'll look foolish, or they may not think you're qualified. So if you don't change these thoughts, they'll persist. And even when you've gotten out of your comfort zone to do the interview, the next time you're still going to be afraid. So how do you change your comfort zone? You definitely should prepare for whatever it is you're going to do or face. But as you prepare, you need to tell yourself positive messages. In the example of the job interview, you should remind yourself of the great talents and abilities you have to offer. You need to continue to reinforce these same positive messages during and after the event. After the job interview, or whatever the challenge is, think about how you did, both the negatives and the positives. Even if you did not get the job or successfully complete your challenge, remind yourself of what you did well, what you have to offer. You can be better the next time. And again, not be fearful or be less fearful the next time. We can always improve. Changing our thoughts takes time and work, but it can be done. Next time you have a fear to face, brought onto you by your introversion, don't just get out of your comfort zone, but change it. So Steve Chandler, in his book Fearless, says, thoughts create fear. Thoughts create feelings, Yet most people don't experience it that way. Most people experience feelings being created by external events and other people, and the future hiding under the bed. He means like a monster under the bed. So when I find the fear underneath something, I want to write the thought down behind that fear. I want to challenge the thought and challenge it and challenge it, as if I were an attorney in a very important case, challenging a witness, because that thought is going to turn out to not be true. Try it, and you'll find this out. End quote. Which thoughts do you need to take to court, so to speak, to change your comfort zone? So for me, there was a time where public speaking made me very nervous. I would get tongue-tied and not know what to say. When it came time to give the speech, I was extremely anxious. And before I learned to change my thoughts, even though I got out of my comfort zone, I would still be nervous during. And the next time I needed to give a speech or presentation, I would have to fight my fears all over again. I had to get out of my comfort zone every single time. And while I was out of it, I was still fighting with nervousness and panic. And public speaking for me has been a very important part of my professional life. Since my early days of being very nervous, it's really opened up opportunities and new possibilities. And in many cases, by changing my comfort zone, I've created these opportunities or volunteered for them. I enjoy speaking and presenting and making a difference. So long ago, I changed my comfort zone, and now I look forward to public speaking. People often ask me beforehand if I'm nervous, and most of the time my answer is no. I'm usually calm. And also, this does make for a better speech or presentation when you're calm. I challenged this fear by telling myself that I had some great ideas to share, and with some preparation, I would do well. With time and practice, I've gotten much less fearful of this type of situation. When it's over, I review how I did, and knowing that the next time will be even better. So in my example of public speaking, what are some of the ideas I'm challenging, or as Steve Chandler puts it, taking to court? What if no one likes it? So I challenge that. I am speaking from experience. I have ideas that will benefit others. There's always going to be critics. Everybody has critics. And your message, it's not for them. Or another fear, what if I say the wrong thing? Instead, I challenge that and say, you're going to do your very best preparation. It's one of your introverted gifts to prepare. You will make some mistakes, as you're not perfect, but no one in the audience is perfect either. I know if I'm aware of a mistake, be human. Admit it. We're all humans. And just keep a sense of humor. So there's a lot of what ifs. What if? I battle this thought, these what if thoughts. If I don't give this speech, definitely no one will benefit from it. And again, we all have many things to contribute, to accomplish, big and small. And I know if you don't take that shot, you definitely will not score. So recently I got a comment on the podcast, and it said, I'm an introvert, but growing up, I never embraced it as a positive. Thank you, David, for such helpful information and making me realize what a gift it has been and how to harness it better. When you hear things like this, it makes expanding your comfort zone worthwhile. You have many gifts to share. It may not be public speaking, but it may just be that work you do, that you are making an impact. But it may be challenging, where it may initially cause you fear, but by expanding your comfort zone, you can overcome that fear where it's not a fearful activity anymore. And you can really help others by using your own gifts. So fear, it exists in our minds. And the beautiful thing is, we can change our minds. We just need to change the messages we're sending to ourselves. And I have spent a good share of my life not fully using my talents. I would have fears like, what if people do not like me or what I'm doing? What if I'm not good enough and others are better? I have since challenged these fears and negative thoughts, and I'm far happier and more successful than ever before. So here's a few things to keep in mind. Find positive people to share your dreams with. Read inspiring books and blogs of successful people. Listen to positive podcasts, YouTube videos, and other messages. Challenge negative thoughts as they come into your head. Is this really something to be afraid of? What's the worst that could happen? Or reverse that. What's the best that could happen? Know that what you have to offer is valuable. We each have our own gifts. Now, you're not better than others, but remember, they are not better than you either. Remember, we all have great worth. I think many people are falling short of their potential as they give in to their fears. So challenge your fears, challenge your thoughts, and live your dreams. Another thing I do is I often have, like I said, a YouTube video playing in the background as I'm sitting at my computer, maybe trying to do some work. I was watching a video that had, lots of great speeches and movie lines and movie clips. And there was one scene of a young guy standing on the edge of a skyscraper, appearing to be facing his fears. Of course, this is not the type of fearlessness I'm talking about. Not for me, anyway. I'm not looking to walk on hot coals, to bullfight, or to base jump. Maybe you are, and that's awesome. But I'm looking at embracing all of my natural introverted gifts, providing for and enjoying the best with my family, and standing out and making a positive impact on the world. So what are your dreams? I think that many people are falling short of their potential as they give into their fears. And as an introvert with a wild imagination, it's easy to let the unfounded fear get the best of us, to paralyze us and keep us from success. It can be hard to identify the thoughts that are causing these fears and change the way you think about them. It's hard, but not impossible. Start challenging your fears, and as you do, you'll find you can change your life. This work does take time. Remember that the goal is to not only get out of your comfort zone, but to change it. To challenge your negative thoughts, reframe them, and have the experiences you want and need, and live the life you're after. Thank you so much for joining me today. I look forward to further connecting with you. Check out quietandstrong.com. Email me at david@quietandstrong.com. I'll add social media channels to the show notes. Please comment on social media posts related to the podcast. Send me topics or questions, and we can address those on the show. There's so many great things about being an introvert, and we need those to be understood. Let's keep the conversation going. Get to know your introverted strengths and needs, and be strong.